Hello, my wonderful, lovely people. Today I thought I would do some teaching. So this is something that I can share with people who come to me and say, you know what, I want to either start my own coaching practice or I have a business and I want to add coaching to it. So a lot of people work in the service business, so realtors, investors, mortgage people, all this kind of thing. They acquire a ton of knowledge and they want to expand their ability to make money, but by sharing their story and helping people figure out how to do what they do. So what I figured I would do for you today is show you how I've created a 3-tier, it's actually 4, but I'm only going to cover 3 of the tiers that I use to create a coaching business. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, the number one thing, is you want to have a low ticket item. Okay, generally speaking, the price of the day, so this is just what research is showing, it's $7 a month. Okay, and weirdly enough, if you want to create an annual membership, it's $59, which is ridiculous because when you look at it, $7 a month over the course of a year is actually $84. So the $59 for the year is a super savings. When you position it like that, so when I first started, I've got a system, it's called Ignite Your Fire. So it's called Ignite. So you can see examples of this, right? If you're interested. So it's called Ignite Your Fire. You go to RebeccaMountain.ca/ignite if you want to see how this works. So I initially went out with $7 thinking that's a no-brainer, you know, cheaper than poutine and, you know, Starbucks coffee. But where the sales just went boom is when I put it for $59 for the year. Because interestingly enough, people do not, even for only $7 a month, they're like, I don't know if it's worth it. And I'm like, it's $7. But that's something that they get every month on their invoice, on their credit card bill. And if you say, well, just a one-time fee of $59, they're like, okay, I got $59. And then they give it to you. Okay? This made, I'm nearing about $10,000 and I haven't hardly lifted a finger. So the idea was something like this with a low ticket item, especially from a coaching perspective, you should use some sort of a membership site. So I use ClickFunnels. It was actually easier to do than I thought it was going to because I've also used Customer Hub with Infusionsoft and that was like mind-bendingly difficult. But the idea is for a low ticket item that you don't put a lot of effort in terms of your personal time into this one. So for this one, the model that I use is once a month, I do a live masterclass. I have a private Facebook group, so if people have questions and as my tribe grows, they can ask questions in the group. And then I have also some bonus training, stuff that I've recorded before that's still useful and helpful and really gives people some instant gratification because with the master classes only being once a month, that means people are going to come in all the time. They don't want to have to wait a full month in order to get something. They want to get something right away. So I have 3 different trainings that people can get right out of the gates, plus a series of books or book resources and some other kind of cool, fun things. Okay, so this is really a set it and forget it. So to set it up, it should not take that much time. Again, ClickFunnels is fantastic. You can actually have people build one of these for you if you want. It's a couple $100 depending on how complicated you want it. You want to keep the moving parts down to a minimum. I have a sales page, an opt-in page, a membership login page, and a membership area. That's it. So if you're looking at ClickFunnels to build something, those are the 4 elements you want on this. And again, you want to keep your involvement to a minimum because the price is really, really low. Okay, so we have to value our time. This is your community builder. This is your tribe builder. This is your list builder. If you can do this, then what it will allow you to do is go to step 2. So step 2 is a mid-level ticket item. Okay, so for this one, the pricing goes from about $1,000 and it can go up. You can even put it as high as $10,000, but that's getting a little bit into the high ticket. So actually, I'm going to take that down a notch, and let's make that $6,000. Okay, so between $1,000 and $6,000, that would be your mid-ticket level offering. So for this one, I'll give you an example again because I like examples. I have a program called Life on Fire. Everything's on fire. My Chinese symbol is a fire dragon. That's where it comes from, and I've just always been rid of a fiery character. So for this one, this is where you increase your availability. Okay, and you do it in 2, well, the way I did it is I did it in 2 phases because people learn in different ways when it comes to coaching. Some people are good with having them sort of going through some online training, maybe having a little bit of help, but essentially doing it on their own, whereas other people really feel that they need someone to hold their hand. So an example for this one is I have a program. It launches on April the 8th, which is great. So I don't have any information on it right now, but if you're interested, just type in the comments Life on Fire, and I'll give you guys a call and tell you more about it. So it's a 12-week program, and it's $3,000. And the way that program works, and again, this is another opportunity for you to actually use this system in a couple of ways. Every Friday, we drop a lesson. It's about half an hour long. And so people can watch the lesson, and then there's homework to be done. Wednesday of the following week, we have a live coaching call, which I join, and then everyone else who is participating in the program can join as well. Sorry, now my computer's deciding to do an update. How convenient. Okay. So my only obligation for this group is a weekly call. So it's 1 hour a week where I get on the phone with people. So I use Zoom, and everyone's there, and their video cameras are on. And that is a key thing that I learned. When you have a small coaching group like that, and I like to keep the groups around 10 to 15, everyone likes to see everyone else. So Zoom.us is what I use, because people can turn on their video cameras, or they can turn them off if they're feeling they're going to be distracted, or they just don't feel like they want to be seen that day. Okay, so the 12-week program is partially online and partially live. But again, I'm just doing it from the comfort of my own home. A way to upgrade this, so a way to make more money but not have to create an entirely separate one-on-one coaching program, is to take it and create a VIP. And that one is $6,000. And all the differences between this typical Life on Fire and the VIP is that you get assigned a personal one-on-one coach, not me, so I have someone on my team that I hire in, but you get a personal one-on-one coach to help you through every single week. So they'll go over the homework with you, they'll talk about implementing it with you, because some people really do love that one-on-one component, but they also like being part of a community. So at $3,000, they get the community, they get the online training, they still get that that group coaching element as well, but for an extra $3,000 over the course of the 12 weeks, then you get that much more. Okay, so now you're building your community, and now you've got the opportunity to bring people on at a higher level. One of the beauties of building this community is, as more people grow on this list, you can identify which ones log in, which ones are participating. Again, ClickFunnels is a fantastic system. They have what's called an activity score or an action score. Can't remember which one. So all I do is I export the people out. I rank order them by action score. I export my masterclass list to see who actually attended. And for those who are like really, really involved, they get a personal call from a salesperson on my team. Now I can do those, and so if you don't have a sales team, you can absolutely make those calls and say, hey, I noticed you're really interested in all the stuff we're talking about here. Did you know we had another program to help you implement it? And then we walk you through it together. Okay, so this now becomes a feeder list. This group here, in terms of how do you market this, I market this through advertising. So Facebook ads is how we do it, Facebook and Instagram, and also through influencers. I've had people who I gave access to this program. They went through some of the training, got amazing results. And well, all they did is I say, hey, would you mind posting about your results online? And they did, and it grew like gangbusters. The idea in terms of your money maker, this is not your money maker. This is your list builder. What you'd be looking for is, if you're spending money on advertising, you'd want it to break even with the amount of money that you're making here. So if I made $6,000 in sales, if I had a $6,000 ad budget, that's okay, because that's not where you make your money. You make your money by growing this and inviting them up to the next level. Okay, so this is, and even if you just stopped here and you're like, okay, that's great. I will have, a little money maker and a list builder, and I'm going to have a mid-level coaching product, and you're good to go. You will make really, really good money. And especially if you have a job already and you're looking at coaching as a part-time option, you might want to stop here, because taking on too much can be really detrimental. So For those who are really excited about this, you can then go up another level, right? You can go into a much overused term, but masterminds, okay? These bad boys start, by the way, at $15,000 and can go up as high as $100,000 or more. Okay, I've seen that. So depending on, again, your authority, the influence you have, your experience, the results that you've been able to prove with all your different programs, I mean, that will kind of give you an idea as to what you want to charge. Most of the masterminds that I've seen are at the $15,000 to $20,000 mark. I have seen some that are for $40,000, but for $15,000, you want to give people a multi-day experience, right? So it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 days. Okay, and if you want to have a lot of fun with this, this is what I'm doing later on this year. I'm so excited. I have a mastermind group that I've been working with since last year, but I've changed the way I'm doing it this year because I want this to be exciting. I want it to be more than just everybody gathering into a room. I'm turning these into destinations. Okay, so I've got a travel agent right now working with me on developing a destination mastermind. So it'll be the idea. And again, you guys can roll with this however you like, but the idea that I really love is that it's an all-inclusive 5-day event. So for 5 days, you get covered for hotel, food, drinks, flight, everything like that. And then for either 3 or 4 of those 5 days, we're really getting together, we're learning, people are sharing, you get that beauty of collective wisdom, because the kinds of people who are gonna drop this kind of cash are the ones who already have a fairly successful business and they want to take it to the next level. So you can imagine being in a group of people all with that same drive and perspective in paying this kind of money. Like they want to get their money's worth, right? And for me as the coach, I want to make sure they get their money's worth. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and you should too if you're hosting one of these things, to really kick ass with them. Okay, so whether you make it a destination mastermind or you bring them where you are, like whatever it is, it has to be special and it has to be a multi-day event. And you have to cover okay, so the way that I've seen most masterminds is they don't cover hotel and they don't cover any of your expenses. Basically, you pay for the privilege of having the collective wisdom. And for some of them, that's absolutely worth it. So the extra $2,000 to $4,000 in flights or accommodation, you just kind of factor that into the price. I love the idea of an all-inclusive because what that allows people to do is to just not worry about it. They can treat it like a vacation. And so now it becomes more than just I'm going somewhere to learn. It's an experience. And people get really, really creative when you pull them out of their sort of normal day-to-day element and you put them somewhere beautiful and you stick them somewhere beautiful in a beautiful place with a beautiful environment. And then you have, of course, your highest level of teaching possible that you're going to deliver at that time. So these are the 3 main levels. There are other opportunities for you as well. One of the things I'm going to be creating is a coaching certification program. So some people, they want to become a coach, but they don't really know like what methodology should they teach. So that's something else that you can have. So if you have a methodology and you want to train people to be able to offer that as well, that's another level that you can offer for that. The pricing for, I'll just write it out for you guys. Here's the 4th. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, okay, good. So the 4th is if you want, you can do a certification program. And these ones, again, the model you want to use is they are 5 days. Okay, I'm not being able to read that. That says days, and they are priced at $10,000. Okay, and the price I've seen for that is $10,000 US dollars. So if you're in Canada, I don't know, it's like $15,000. But the point is, it's a 5-day event. It needs to be interactive, and it needs to obviously give people a very specific methodology, but also you have to teach people how to sell that coaching program. So it's not just enough to say, okay, here's what I teach, now go. You've got to teach those people how to sell it, how to market it, how to grow people in a tribe so that they can become aware of what you're doing, and then again step forward themselves and say, I want to do this for myself. Like, that's the ultimate sort of goal that you guys should be shooting for, is getting people in all of your different levels of community to take a step forward and say, how do I go further with this? Now, again, if not everyone, then not everyone will step forward, you need to have the way to track people to be able to say, okay, this person's like really digging this. So I think they'd be a great candidate for, you know, the next level up, right? Not everyone's going to be able to do it, because someone maybe at the mid-level, right, even at 6,000, might not have $15,000. Okay, so that's okay, because if you keep rolling these things over year after year, people will have an opportunity to plan for it, to budget for it, and then to join in your group. Okay, so if you're looking at doing a coaching program and you want to have a multi-level opportunity to get people in, definitely have your moneymaker. It's your list builder, and it's just an opportunity for you to break even and own your list. One of the biggest problems I see people have is they don't own their list. They expect other people to do the marketing for them. That is a huge mistake, and don't make it. Own your list so that you can track them and market to them accordingly. Have a mid-level product, right? And again, what I would highly recommend is have a VIP version of your mid-level product for those people who want a little bit more of that one-on-one. Your price goes up not simply because the value of what you're offering is greater. You as a business owner, like for someone like me, so my prices go up as I become more involved. Like for my mastermind, it's me up there for the entire time. You get my personal devoted attention to whatever it is that you're trying to do. And with this one, we talk about, not actually in all of them, we don't just talk about stuff like this, like creating business models and scalability. I've gotten tons of books on scaling, and what I've realized is that there's a psychological element that also must be addressed before success can truly happen. So we kind of cover all ends of the spectrum, because at the end of the day, my goal in all of this is to make every single person extremely excited to wake up every single day. I love what I do, and if I did this every single day for the rest of my life, I would be the happiest person alive. But I wasn't always this way. There are most mornings where I just wanted to stab myself in the eyeball multiple times with a hot poker. So if that's you, there are opportunities for you to overcome that. And again, if you want, we can absolutely talk about the kind of programs that I have that are designed to get you out of the humdrum routine of life, scale your business, because if you've been working at your business for a while and you just keep on hitting that artificial ceiling, well, I can tell you absolutely you've created it for yourself. But there's a way to pull that back, to change that, to break that ceiling, and to go way, way beyond it. I've done it for myself, and I've done it for lots of other people. And again, this is my life mission. So before you get going on this one, and it's a really important thing to take note of, you have to figure out what your life mission is. Like for everyone that goes through my programs, I have a very specific goal in mind. The question you have to ask yourselves is, do you have that meaningful change that you're trying to create for people? Do you understand why you're trying to help people and what it does for them when they listen to you and when they do what you're telling them to do? One of the horrors and one of the realities of coaching program is that, unfortunately, a lot of people will not do what you tell them to do. They will say they don't have time. They will say that they're too busy. They'll say that they forgot. You can't make someone find something important. Like, I know that when people go through my programs, by the time they're done, they have like amazing scalable opportunities. They have no more limiting beliefs. Their future is just this path of just straight up success, right? Unless people believe that that's possible for them, it's just not going to happen. So as a coach, from a coach to potentially full other coaches, make sure that you really dig into those self-limiting beliefs. And when someone says, and here's another tip, as you're, especially this mid-level product, track the people that don't show up and call them. Say, what's going on, right? I know that we've had, say, this is a 12-week program, and say at week 3 or 4, maybe they've only attended 1 or 2 sessions. And when you reach out to them, and again, I prefer if you do this yourself as a business owner and say, hey, this program is important to me, you're important to me, but you're not showing up, and try to dig in to see what's going on. There might be an opportunity for you to help and turn that person around. The more success you have with people completing your pro coaching program, the more future success you will have, because all those people who are successfully completing and finding great results, those are your advocates. You can turn them into ambassadors. For anyone that finishes my program, if they bring somebody in, I give them 10%. Why? Because they did the sales for me, and sales are worth at least 10% of the price that you're paying, okay, or the people are paying you. So you need people to be successful in your program. And again, having a system like ClickFunnels, and of course I use ClickFunnels and Zoom, both of which will track who's attending and who's really involved, how often they're logging into the membership site, when was the last time they were in. And when you can track stuff like that, you can catch the people who are falling off and you can bring them back. So it's a little bit of work, but again, you should start by doing this yourself, and as you grow and as you scale, you can delegate that particular job out to other people. But the idea is that you still need to do it. It's kind of a form of customer service and customer experience all rolled into one. And the better experience people have, the more they're going to talk about you. And the more people talk about you, right, that is your brand. Your brand is how much other people talk about you. It's not about how much you can promote yourself and talk about how great you are and how smart you are and how you've achieved so much. That doesn't matter. What matters is what people are going to say about you as well. That's why all of you guys have testimonials on your website. That's why we have Google reviews. That's why we have Facebook reviews. And so as much as possible, get those reviews out there. If you get a bad review, see if you can reach out and get them to pull it down. And if they won't, which happens sometimes because you get the crazies, all you need to do is bury that shit with even more good reviews. And the better job you do, the more good reviews you'll get. So I hope you guys have found this helpful. If you are thinking of doing a coaching program, again, here's some great places to start. There's, I've got another great book if you're interested, which goes into this in a little bit more depth. It's called The Millionaire Messenger by Brendon Burchard. A great read. Again, if you're planning on going down this path, please go ahead and read it. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments or PM me. If you're interested in any of these programs I've mentioned, of course, again, you can let me know, and I'd love to make this a successful transition for you or a successful addition to your business. I hope you guys have a fantastic afternoon. Take care, my friends.